How's it going? How the hell are you? My name is Troy Harrison Chriest, but you can just call me THC in the comments. If you've been watching my channel recently, you might know that I've been covering the brand new Kickstarter game called Raw. It's an open world MMO RPG made by Killer Whale Games, and it looks very impressive, very just bold and out there, and just an absolute crazy concept for a game. They recently passed their Kickstarter goal. They had a goal of $79,000, and I just looked at it today. They hit $80,000 for the goal, so it's happening. They're making the game. They're going to be hiring a ton of new employees, and I think it's going to be just a lot of fun and a really interesting game. So I had been talking about the different parts of the game, the government, transportation, real estate, stuff like that. Today, I'm going to go over stuff like how you can work in the world, the environment, and a lot more fun details. I'm going to kind of finish up the rest of the details on the Kickstarter page for you guys to figure out if you want to back it or not. It's going to happen. They're saying 6 to 12 months, and we're playing Raw. This game looks incredible. Let's get right into it. My name is Troy Harrison Chriest once again. Leave a like on the video. Smash the like button. Can we do that? Can we hit 50 likes? And besides that, hit the bell icon so YouTube actually shows you whenever I post new videos like this one. All right, here we go. All right, the first section I'm going to talk about is work. Each player in the world has to have a job. They have to, maintain their lifestyle, and they have to acquire money and materials in order to build all sorts of different stuff. And the way to do that is to work, to have a job. Not a YouTuber, have a real job. All right, here's what it says on the Kickstarter. Private business is a very risky thing. You can get a lot, but you can also lose a lot. In addition, businesses require great effort and responsibility. Not everyone is ready for this. Some players can open their own business, some players can work for other players, or you can take side jobs and be kind of a freelancer. So they added professions that do not require organizational skills from a person, but it will be possible to receive a stable income, even if it is not as large as your own business, but it has less risk and you won't go bankrupt. Does that make sense? If you have a business, you have the option to go bankrupt, the possibility if you're just a worker or a freelancer. That's not the case. I know that was kind of a convoluted mumbo-jumbo of lines. They are German and are not the best at translating to English. Moving on. Now I'll describe what the professions will be like in a more detailed manner. Let's use the example of the police station once again. The police station will have its own chief, who will be chosen by the government. Each player can try to become a policeman. To do this, you will need to apply to the police station. The head of the station will choose which of the candidates is worthy of employment. This is awesome. It's real life. It's real life. This game is real life. Once approved, you'll be able to start work as a cop. You'll receive a key to your locker in the locker room and the armory. If you are hired and you become a police officer, you still will enter the server as a civilian. You'll need to go to the police station, put on a uniform, and take your weapon. Oh my god, okay. After that, you will start service. You will receive a salary in a certain period of time. The chief police will receive statistics about your service. If you do your job well, you can expect a raise and bonuses, but if you can't cope and you spend too little time in service, it is likely that my camera is blocking what this line says. It is likely that the head of the station will fire you and hire another candidate. Super, super hardcore role-playing mechanics. I just love it. Also, all other professions will work according to this principle. For example, a medic, a tow truck driver, a pilot, and so on all work the same way. There's a boss, there's a hierarchy, there's a hiring system, there's a payment system, bonus system, fireman system. Super, super intricate game design. These guys are kind of insane, and I love it. They also plan to add and continuously develop new professions as the game grows. Let's go. All right, guys, let's move on to the environment. Right now, the map is absolutely huge. It says that the playable area is approximately 400 square kilometers in-game engine at the moment. I know that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of you, just trying to figure out, well, okay, how big is 400 kilometers inside a game? It looks absolutely massive. I can't even fathom how big it is. It says their goal from the beginning was to create the biggest, most realistic environment that they possibly can. Yet it is not perfect, and for sure, not the best looking one. We definitely want to make a lot of improvements on the current state of the terrain. That's what they said. I think it looks pretty good right now, and it seems like they're using a little bit of telemetry, but I'm not sure. They might just be designing everything environmentally wise in Unity. It seems like there's a mix of Unity and Unreal. There's definitely a lot of assets from both of the engines. But right now, to me, the environment looks super good, looks really, really good. And with this influx of cash, hopefully that's one of the things that they improve on. But I really want them to improve on like the facial textures and animations and that. That was my big problem with what I saw from the trailer. So hopefully a lot of this money goes to, you know, faces moving or something like that. I didn't even see a single animation of a person talking in the trailer, so that's not even in there yet. But back to the environment. So the map consists of a large island in the center of many adjacent smaller islands. Not all islands can be reached at the beginning of the game. The government will have to build bridges to do this. I don't know if you've ever played Anno, but kind of like that. They wanted to make sure that when you leave one end of the island and go to the other, it feels like a completely different environment. And so far, it looks like it does. There's everything from sand dunes to deserts to lush, you know, forests and like mountainous areas. It seems like this one island has crammed so many different environmental biomes in like actually a pretty big area. So if you wanted to build your town in the jungle or in the snow, you can do that. Snow is confirmed. I'm looking at snow screenshots right now. So they decided to introduce a few different biomes. There are Rocky Mountains, deserts with canyons, a salt lake, sand dunes, tropical islands, a quarry island as well. A complete island that's a straight rock quarry. That's pretty cool. They said each biome consists of its own vegetation, things like trees, bushes, cactuses, rocks, logs, stumps, small sticks, flowers, reeds, grass, and so on. Right now, they are mostly using speed tree models for their vegetation. If you don't know what speed tree is, it is an add-on to the Unity engine, which allows you to place trees very, very, very quickly. And you can buy trees from the Unity store. They have a pretty decent looking environment super fast. Like I did it in one of my game development classes. Hopefully they won't be using speed tree the rest of the time. Who knows, whatever, moving on. They're saying that the assets are not new and definitely not the best looking ones, especially the old series, but they simply couldn't afford to hire any 3D artists to make their own in-game vegetation library for each individual biome at the moment. So they have 3D artists for other things, but just, they don't have a specialist for trees, bushes, grass, all that stuff. So they're using paid assets. Something that I've seen in my comments, people talking about that a lot. They also actively are using Megascan assets for their terrain, which are known for extremely high quality and detailed accuracy. So I'm pretty sure Megascans are a version of telemetry where they can scan an environment and just pretty much add it into a game engine where you don't have to pull up the land and carve every single spot. That's super cool. They still really want to dramatically improve all of the vegetation that is currently in the game. It will require a lot of work as well, but they really believe that in the final results, it will be absolutely outstanding because high quality environments in their game is a must-have. That's what they say, so I mean, I think it looks great right now, but if they're gonna make it even that much better, more power to them. All right, let's move on to multiplayer. They're saying right now multiplayer is almost ready and works stable at the moment. They already have a good and tested multiplayer system, which they simply adapted to the current project. Are they gonna detail what that is? It might be risky to hit the road alone. Interesting. They plan to open official servers as well as provide a free dedicated server to everyone. That's really cool. One of the goals is to try to make the game fun to play, even if there are not that many players on the server. What I am kind of confused about this is if they're gonna add, you know, first-person shooter, multiplayer, team deathmatch, battle royale, stuff like that, or is all of the multiplayer gonna be based out of the role-playing and building up the island? I think what they're talking about here is how many people we can have just role-playing on one island. That's what they mean by multiplayer, correct? Does that make sense? They didn't detail like, oh, this is our search and destroy mode. Moving on, they really did not have much to say on the multiplayer, so it seems like what they mean by multiplayer is pretty much just like, you know, we have people populated on the island. Whatever. Moving on. All right, really quick, let's move on to the stretch goals for their Kickstarter since they have already hit their base goal. The one thing that kind of is strange about their Kickstarter and their stretch goals is that they need $79,000 just to hire people, but they don't say what they are gonna do with that $79K after they hired them. Then they have all these stretch goals of stuff that they actually want to add. You know what I'm saying? They just need $79K to pay people, but all of this is like extra features that probably should be in the game. So technically they didn't raise the amount that they really want to yet. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, I'll just read it. All of these goals will be realized with time sooner or later, but if they raise more funds than they stated, they will accelerate development and will try to include the following features in the early access release. Interesting. First one says map works. At the moment, the map looks good, but it still needs to be improved. They need to inspect it meter by meter, add interesting places, remove empty areas, correct existing errors. The required amount is $100,000. $100,000? They can't inspect the map without $100K? All right, whatever, moving on. The next one is planes and helicopters. We did see this in the actual trailer, but apparently they're not in the game. Anyways, they said we already have working controllers for helicopters and airplanes. Everything looks very good, but we still need additional improvements as well as performance and quality checks. The required amount, $120,000. Next one, boats and motorcycles. You better have motorcycles in there in the base game. You don't need $145,000 to add motorcycles. If you have cars, you can have motorcycles. Is that just me? Is that just me? Come on, that's stupid. That's stupid. All right, I'm reading it, whatever. The situation with water transport is the same as with air transport. Everything looks good, but we still need small improvements and tests. The situation is more complicated with motorcycles. So far, we only have a prototype. It requires serious research and development. All right, play Watch Dogs 2, Grand Theft Auto, anything, any game with the motorcycle, see how it acts, and then, you know, make it like that. Allow us to do backflips. That's pretty much it. $145,000 for boats and motorcycles. Okay, here we go. The Electricity and Communication Network. Okay, what is this? They need $160,000 for it? One of their ideas to add to the game is the possibility of the mayor and his team to develop the Electrical and Communication Network. Interesting. Right now, for in-game communication between players, there is a tablet. It catches the net anywhere on the map. They want to add a mobile base station to the mayor's building list. It will have a certain range. If the player leaves the mobile network, he will not be able to receive messages on the tablet, call other players, or otherwise use functions that depend on the availability of a mobile network. We saw a bit of this when that one guy was stranded on the road and he was trying to hitchhike. You guys remember that? Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they're already working on that. In the same way, they want to introduce power lines as well. If you are near a source of electricity, then you can connect your plot of land to it and use devices that need power to work. This is actually a really cool idea. I hope they do that. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of this next one, but here we go. The Advanced Metabolism and Disease System. Another interesting idea that they are trying to implement is the system of advanced metabolism and disease. Having to eat, having to not die of sickness. You know what I'm saying? It says right now, at the moment, they have a system of basic metabolism. So I don't know if you guys know what this means, but like, if you're like me, I can eat, you know, like 8 cheeseburgers a day and like gain no weight because I just burn it off immediately. I just burn it off. But other players, they can eat just like that and they gain 5 pounds, you know? So I don't know how they're going to affect that in game. Like if I'm going to have to be eating constantly just to like have enough energy. I'm not the biggest fan of having to eat in games, you know? But then again, this is a hardcore RPG and we probably should have to. Let me get back to the script. It calculates hunger, thirst, air temperature, bleeding, and makes adjustments to the player's health level based on this data. That's kind of cool. They want to make metabolism more advanced. They said they will make simple mathematical models of all human organs, connect them, and make one organ affect the work of another? Are you serious? This is a bit advanced. They will also add in infections, various diseases, as well as an index in-game so you can figure out what disease you may have got. Wow, that's kind of insane. Okay, the next one is advanced character customization. It says right now they do not have a player customization system at the moment. They need $220,000 to do this. We plan to add it to the base system to the... what? They suck ass at writing. We plan to add the base system to the early access game. It will be a set of different heads and bodies as well as several different skin tones for each model. That sounds not great. All right, whatever. If they achieve this goal, they will try to implement an advanced character customization system. By the time the game is released to early access, you will be able to fully customize the face and body of your player, including height, complexion, facial features, eye color, and so on. Basic stuff, basic stuff. Okay, that's a little weird. Okay, next up is advanced weapons. They need $260,000 for advanced weapons? At the moment, they have a basic system of customization for weapons. The weapon has several slots in which you can install additional devices. For example, optical and kilometer sights, silencers, flashlights, laser designators. They also have basic weapon wear as well. If they reach this goal, they will try to bring the weapon system to a new level. They plan to add an advanced wear system, jamming, misfiring, overheating, and so on. They will also make the weapon completely collapsible. That's cool. Then it will be possible to change butts, barrels, magazines, and other parts of the weapon that will be reflected in shooting characteristics and will make the game process more various and interesting. Okay, next up is modding support. They need $300,000 for this. They understand that support for mods is extremely important for role-playing games. You are so right, thank you. This is not an easy task, especially at the stages where there are many other things to do. At the moment, no work in this direction has been carried out, but in the future, there should be support for user modification 100% in their plans. That's what they're saying. They do not guarantee that we will be able to add this to early access if we achieve this goal, but they can definitely guarantee that work in this direction will be started and will be carried out immediately after achieving this goal. $300,000 for modding support. It seems like a game that would really, really need modding support, so hopefully, they actually have it. I mean, right? Okay, what do we have next? Runtime road building. What do they need? $350,000. All right, I'm not exactly sure what this means, so let's read it. This is also a very difficult goal, and most likely they will not have time to fulfill it by the time the game is released in early access, but they will work hard to realize this goal. Could you tell us what runtime road building actually is? Right now, we already have the opportunity to build roads on the island. This opportunity is available only to the mayor. Roads can be built from prefabricated pieces. The mayor can choose the piece of the roads to be built. There will be 5 or 6 pieces of the road network. By building them one by one, the mayor will be able to cover the entire island with a road network. I'm not sure what runtime means exactly. What does that mean? Ideally, they would like to make sure that the mayor can build roads where he wants. This would add a lot of variety to the gameplay because at each start of a new game, there will be completely different road networks on the island. Yeah, obviously. They have already conducted research in this direction. It seems that such a system is possible to do, but it will take a lot of work and testing because such a system is not very easy to implement. All right, I understand it now. Basically what it is they are crafting this environment, right? They're molding it. It's a hard surface. It's not meant to be broken and changed. When you add roads, it changes what the environment looks like, and they have to have something built into their engine that allows them to, you know, build a road over a mountain, build a road through the snow, and actually make it look appropriate. So what we saw in the trailer of them building roads, that looked like CGI. I think it was. All right, moving on. What do we got next? That was actually the last Kickstarter goal. Let's move on to the final thing they have written on this page, their risks and challenges. It says, Raw is our first game of this scale, and technically it's not the easiest one to develop. Yeah, no kidding, buddy. It says, however, after 2.5 years of development on our own, the work is not stopped, and we are still determined to achieve serious results. It says that we hope that we will be able to get it, as we are one of those who make the games not to make money, but to make them interesting and enjoyable to play. Well, I hope that is absolutely the case, and I hope you have enjoyed your time here in this video. That is everything you kind of need to know about Raw. If you missed part 1 or part 2 of this video, they will be at the end of this video, or you can click the link up there or whatever, or they'll be in the description. Thank you guys all for watching. My name is Troy Harrison Chriest. The game is happening. It is happening. Hopefully it's going to be fun. Hopefully you get to play it. Hopefully we all get to play it, you know, sooner than later. And it looks really interesting to me, and thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and definitely hit that bell icon. My name is THC. See you in the comments. Have a good one. Peace.